Hello Aquarius, welcome to Monarch Intuition, and today I'm going to be doing your March 2023 mid-monthly check-in reading for you. So if you're new to my channel, what I like to do is I like to pull one major arcana to see the energy and then clarify with a different deck. So what major arcana needs to come out for the sign of Aquarius? I feel like you're in the dark about something. Like, it seems like other people know something, but you don't. Okay? So what do we need to know for Aquarius? You have the Hanged Man, yeah. And you're in like this self-sacrifice state to try to see something from a different perspective so that way you can gain the enlightenment. And it's like, I'm not saying that you're begging for the enlightenment right here, but you're truly seeking it. You're wondering like, what does everyone else know that I don't know? And you're going to this self-sacrifice state right here to gain knowledge around other people. And it's kind of like you're watching other people go about their daily lives trying to figure out, well, how did they get that? How did they reach that level? Why do they know that? How did they learn this? So what's going on with this Hanged Man energy? What's going on for you, Aquarius? I'm going to be using the Revelations Tarot. This deck does have reversals. You have the Ace of Cups in reversed. You have the Hermit. And you have the Four of Pentacles in reversed. So this Ace of Cups in reverse represents a cup of emotion. Your cup of emotion's been poured out. And the Hermit is showing you it's because you give up your secrets too easily. The Hermit reveals something to you and you freely give it to other people. That's why. It's like you want to help other people in a weird way because that's the Hanged Man energy. You're trying to move people along within life, but here's the thing, Aquarius, sometimes people can't know certain things. I feel like you're very well enlightened to people right here. I don't think you really need, maybe you do need the Hanged Man energy, but to me it almost feels like you already know what other people know. You already have access and knowledge to it. The problem is that you're the humanitarian of the zodiac sign, and the same knowledge that you would use to help other people are using it for their own selfish greed, okay? So this is the Ace of Cups being poured out. You want to give to other people because you are a humanitarian. I'm not saying you have to like people to be a humanitarian. That's not what a humanitarian is. Just like a pacifist doesn't mean someone is a weak person. Pacifist is someone who has to know a lot of war and how to kill people and all these other things, but chooses to have peace. That's what true pacifism is. And that's kind of what I'm seeing for you right here as being a humanitarian. It's that you want to move the world along to be happier and healthier because it truly makes you happier and healthier by doing so, right? So by creating inventions, by helping people see, you know, that it's not all just black and white, there are shades of gray within life, that whatever you put your mind to and whatever you imagine you can possibly create, it's just having a drawing board. And how do you get from point A to point B? How do you start a society? Well, you have to know how to build a city. Well, how do you build a city? Well, you got to get people. It's like you know how to go all the way down to the root point of something, right? And then unravel it for everyone else. So the reason that you're in this Hanged Man energy, and the reason I feel like people are kind of like one-upping you, and maybe it's not even one-upping you, but it's like, how did they get that knowledge and attain it and use it for their benefit, whereas you have more knowledge than them, but you're not. It's that your ideas and your ways to help people advance, they use that to their best of their advantage, right? And they're going to, you know, belittle people and get people out of their way and push people out of their way because of this knowledge to get what they want. Now, I'm not saying that you aren't one of those people or that you can be one of those people. It's saying that you usually choose not to be. Aquarians tend to know where they stand intellectually, and they want knowledge above other things, okay? They want and they value knowledge, and they value society as a whole and in general, right? But other people don't. They value what they can have. For example, something that really shocked me was that I found out that in Japan, a 4 and 5-year-old could just ride on a train. And like, no one says anything. And the entire society watches them because the entire society is that safe. We couldn't do that in the United States. But I feel like that's a society that would really cater to you versus the people here in the United States. It's like, you know, a shootout walking out of your house, but as long as you're inside of your house and as long as you're surrounded by the things that you like, you're okay. And that's the difference right there, is you see the societal goal of having a really nice community for people, Whereas these people only see their house, their property, and that's it. And they're willing to risk going out into public and, having all these bad things happen to them. So that's what I'm seeing for you, is that you willingly help people instead of holding on to your secrets. The Ace of Wands upright with the King of Wands. But someone's going to give you a new opportunity right here. Someone is going to give you a new hope, new help. This King of Wands, which is Leonian energy, Leo energy, is offering a brand new opportunity. The Hermit, the Justice, and the Ten of Cups. Yeah, it's offering you how to get to the Ten of Cups right here, how to have a good society, how to be happy, how to have balance within life. The Four of Pentacles right here is the Death, and the Six of Cups, just can't give it away. Okay? Got the Ten of Swords of the Hierophant. Sometimes people are incapable of having certain knowledge. Okay? You can't freely give to people anymore. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't try to help people, but I feel like in a weird way, this is a weird one, Aquarius, okay? Because I've always thought personally helping people move forward is a good option, but let's just pull more cards. Let's switch decks, right? I didn't mean to slam that deck down. The Chariot, the Eight of Cups, and the Magician. So your energy is coming out. So the Chariot is blending both harmonies together. You need to leave out critical information, okay? A magician never reveals all of his secrets. That's the thing. Is that you need to leave out some sort of critical pieces right here that uncover something. Because you can blend a situation, but the Eight of Cups is that there are two cups missing, right? And the magician has a cup in his hand. So maybe taking out a small little snippet of something before you tell everyone everything about something about you or what you know or what you've gained. Only giving them the Five of Cups instead of the full 10, or maybe only giving them the Six of Cups. I just feel like it's about halfway explaining the truth to someone. Yeah, the Five of Pentacles. The High Priestess and the Tower. I almost feel like less is more. Less is more right here. This is like the people will destroy the Tower to gain what they want. That's the problem, Aquarius. People will destroy everything to attain something because they don't have the same vision as you do. Because they're incapable of creating. That's the problem, Aquarius. That's what's going on. You are capable of being the magician right here and having different avenues you can work on, right? If you explain a goal or a secret to someone, they're going to use that one goal and one secret and run it into a ground, right? And when I say run it into the ground, that's the only thing that they're going to know. And they're only going to use that one thing to attain everything within life. You're the magician, and so you can, masterfully create with all of these different things. And things seem to be, naturally coming to you, natural ideas, right? One of the main issues right here, Aquarius, is that it would destroy the foundation of everything, and it destroys the foundation of everything when you reveal certain secrets to people, okay? It's kind of like the Five of Pentacles represents people going or walking past the church, right? And imagine the church says, hey, come inside, you're cold, you're miserable, why don't you, have a rest. And so you invite the people into the church, and what do? Well, they steal everything, they destroy it, and then they run away. That's a problem right there, Aquarius, is that you freely help people and you need to stop doing that with the Six of Cups. Or at least leave out critical information. So that way people don't feel like they can rob you of anything else. Or the best option is to save the secrets, the critical secrets, for yourself. To make sure that you're good. So this is basically putting the oxygen mask on yourself before helping the other passenger. Six of Cups, the Daughter of Cups with the Lord of Skulls. Or the Daughter of Wands with the Lord of Skulls. You're naively giving, or you're trying to help these naive people reach this Lord of Skulls status. But in turn, they only steal from you with the Seven of Knives. Okay? They're trying to be more clever than the Magician right here. And that's ultimately the problem, I feel like, Aquarius, is that these people are trying to be more clever than you with the information that you gave them. Nine of Knives and the Hanged Man again. Which puts you into this really anxious state, and that's why you're in the Hanged Man energy of an observation of how people could be evil. And you know what, Aquarius? I don't really understand that either, okay? Like, when you look at other societies, how much happier they seem to be versus, you know, certain societies of like, why people just won't act right. Like, what's the difference? Why don't people act right? Because how could these people over here act right and normally versus these people, and they don't want to, you know, have a good society? The Star, the Gull with the Sun, and the Nine of Pentacles. Because you have many goals, and they have a singular goal. Their singular goal is the Nine of Pentacles, which is their garden. But you have many goals. But that's going to be very difficult for you, Aquarius, is to trying to convince other people that it's not just about you, it's about other people. And when I say about other people, I'm talking about having just a society where people can function and enjoy life. And I think the problem is this. Let me pull a card. I know what the problem is, and I'll explain it to you, but let me just make sure I'm on the right path. Six of Scepters? Yeah, I'm on the right path. Okay. The problem here, Aquarius, is that we live in a British-based society, and a lot of other people live in a more Roman, Greco-based society, okay? When we look at the well, I'm talking about here in the United States. When we look at the British-based society, it's all about cults, like Freemasonry cults, right? As opposed to the Roman society or the Greek society, where yes, they had fraternities of enlightened people, but these enlightened people were supposed to help everyone as the betterment, right? The problem is, with these fraternities in the United States, those are more based off of the British concepts of hiding secrets and only using these secrets to help yourself, okay? So they block off people and they boogeyman people. When I say boogeyman, they teach them all kinds of things that make them scared, right? Make them scared of all of these X, Y, and Z things. And, you know, when you're scared to look at something for what it is, and I think this is the problem right here, Aquarius, is that you're not scared. So you might tell other people a secret, something like that, and they use that to their advantage because that's all they're ever going to get, okay? Because we live in a society where only people who are in these cults and these sects, these chapters, whatever, are going to make it, all right? And if you're not in the in crowd, if you're not part of the club, then you're not going to make it, all right? As opposed to if you left this in crowd in this club and went somewhere else, you probably would make it, all right? You got to think, a majority of these major cults, these globalist cults, actually are stemmed in the United States, but they use a lot of European ideologies, okay? And, you know, that's the problem there, Aquarius, is that so many people they don't know how to get into those in cults or in those in clubs, and maybe you do, maybe you've been in one, or maybe you just don't care and you're just smart. But in the United States especially, when people get information that can help them, they take it and they run with it, all right? Because unless they can get into the in crowd, they're not going to know anything else. Because they're too scared to, one, either learn it because that's how they've been raised, or no one's going to pay any interest in them to induct them into like a chapter, all right? No one's going to initiate them into a society. Like, the basic knowledge of right and wrong, good and evil, whatever, you could ask like Catholic priests, say in Italy, and they'll go and explain a lot of things to you. Like, but people here in the United States, they really don't do that. No one's really going to sit there and explain things to you. They're just going to say, well, it's just how it is. And they're going to wait for you to get older so you can join and be initiated into something, and then they'll explain it to you in detail. Which is why we have people who are 25, 26 with college degrees, they don't really know anything about life, versus people who are in Europe who have doctorate degrees at that point, and they know everything about life. So maybe this is about moving on, Aquarius. Maybe this is about saying, you know, maybe your intelligence is wasted in the United States, okay? And if you're not in the United States, maybe your intelligence is just wasted where you are. And I feel like maybe having a more free-thinking society that cares about the advancement of humanity might be better, instead of the holding on to the secrets of humanity to only promote a few rich people, okay? And you can look at it like presidents have been in, you know, a lot of different chapters. There are a lot of cults in the United States. And when I talk about cults, I'm talking about, like, you know, chapters, all right? And that's the problem, Aquarius. That's where you are. You're at that impasse. You're giving knowledge away to people who are going to take that knowledge and run, and they're going to use it to their advantage no matter who they hurt, because that's the only knowledge that they're ever going to get. Because they know that they can't get initiated, or they're too scared, or they don't have the connections. And you are wasting your knowledge on them, but in a way it's because you care about them. But once you give them that knowledge, you're saying, I could give you more knowledge, but they don't care about that anymore. All they care about is trying to live a good life. Because, you know, in the United States, it's all about living paycheck to paycheck, right? A lot of people are scared about where their next meal is coming from. They don't care about all that other stuff, because that's how this society is run. So you might do better in a different society, Aquarius. I'm just going to say that for you. Three of Scepters, the Devil, the Nine of Cups. The Devil's coming in with a wish. Addictions, chains. Yeah, I kind of feel like this is the thing, Aquarius. Maybe you're about to be initiated into something. I'd just say run. Just run. Five of Scepters with the Two of Cups and the Four of Grails. Yeah, it's like you bring them knowledge that's forbidden knowledge, forbidden wishes, and you're trying to make them act right. You're trying to fight for them to act right. You're trying to give them this knowledge, but ultimately it's just a big fight, because once they get just a little taste of info, the Moon with the Two of Scepters and the World, yeah, they just go crazy with it. So what you need right here, Aquarius, is you need to find a new place, okay? You need to wrap things up and be around people who are more enlightened, who care about the advancement of ideas, all right? Now, I'm not talking about practicing black magic right here. I'm not talking about selling your soul to the devil or making a contract with the devil, anything like that. What I am talking about is basic knowledge is hidden due to, I have nothing against Christianity, okay? I have a problem when people pervert Christianity and use it to gain control over other people. Like people who are multi-million-dollar pastors, That's who I have a problem with. I don't care about just a normal pastor. I don't care about just the average everyday Christian. I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about those, you know, those pastors in like New York who are like asking their entire congregation to put all their jewelry in a box, and then, you know, they got like $1.5 million worth of jewelry and then someone stole it from them. That's the type of pastors I'm talking about, okay? Those types of people. And they scare their congregation, as opposed to other people who teach them what it actually means, and so they can move on. They're not struggling constantly with, you know, a scary thought. The Queen of Cups, the Daughter of Skulls, and the Lovers. I feel like you could give something to this connection right here. The Ten of Cups, yeah. You could get the Ten of Cups, all right? You're giving information that allows people to connect to the Ten of Cups right here. To happiness, to actual happiness. I think that's very important for you, Aquarius, is to maybe, gosh, I don't know. This is very difficult for me as well, because when this situation comes around, right, you need to be aware of the knowledge you help people with, okay? I know you want to help people, and that's perfectly fine. But perhaps what you need to do is you need to establish your life somewhere else, and then maybe make this like a secondary country where you come and visit and you teach and you're like a scholar here. So it could be like setting up your life in somewhere else and then traveling here in like the summers to teach people at schools, okay? To give them the knowledge to help them break through. Because that's one of the main issues, is that so many of these people will block off basic knowledge to people and scare them, especially, you know, preying upon people's religious behaviors and religious habits, and scare them into thinking inside of this box and not to deviate when all of these people know that they're in cults. I've known pastors who are in Freemason societies. The same thing that they preach against is the same thing that they do. And, you know, they'll be judged for that, just like everyone will be judged. And I'll just leave it there. Now, I'm not telling you to join that. I would advise highly against not doing that, just going and finding a different society in a different place where you can think freely, okay? And you have a stable footing. I know that it's going to be difficult to move to a different place. I know it's going to be difficult to be around certain types of people, maybe learning a new language or whatever. Learning Greek or learning Italian or learning French, Spanish. But there are more societies out there that do not scare the people because they need to progress as a human race, okay? They need to teach people certain things so that way they can advance, as opposed to America where they hide everything and they use these people who are unenlightened, ill-informed, whatever, to be the drones that work, you know, the cash registers, while their children are enlightened and going to MIT, okay? That's why people who can't get into Ivy Leagues here can go to Europe and get into Ivy League schools, because they don't want you to have that connection, but other people are saying, oh, you got the brains to do it, come on. You have new beginnings, reconciliation. Yeah, and that's the thing, I feel like it's all about new beginnings right here, okay? Vulnerability, rebirth, and premonition. You need to be vulnerable about things. You need to have a rebirth, and you need to seek some sort of enlightenment. You're going to have a premonition, okay? The vulnerability is that people are vulnerable. They're looking for an ounce of guidance, okay? They're looking for some sort of help. You got to think, when you see these really rich pastors on TV, they have people donating to them. They have people hook, line, and sinker into their agenda, okay? Now, once again, I don't care if you're a Christian. I don't care whatever. But I think that it's very bad that pastors do that to people. I really do, okay? Because at the end of the day, you can kind of look at them and say, they're not men of God. Those people are probably pretty vicious. So you have reflect on a situation, untwist, and Merkaba, the chariot. So you need to reflect. You need to untwist things for people. Maybe even untwist your own self. So that way you can ascend with the chariot energy, okay? Joy, rejoice in the present, and mummy, change. I really do feel like this is about change right here. Okay, Aquarius? I think that you need to focus on yourself a little bit more. I think that's one of the main issues for you with this hanged man energy. You have answers, wisdom, learning, communication, tradition, and contemplation, and wise counsel. That's what it was. I think that you need to focus more so, instead of helping people right here, okay? Hear me out. Instead of helping people, you need to help yourself. And I'm a Leo, so I'm your opposite sign, and I know that you're the humanitarian. I come from a lower base perspective because that's the difference, but Leos and Aquarius have to help one another, right? You have to pull on our energy just like we have to pull on your energy. I think what will help you is to take care of yourself right here, to get your finances in order, to save up money, to just, you know, get what you need to get, and then leave to go to a different place where people are more open-minded about certain things. And I'm not talking about open-minded and, you know, whatever. I'm talking about in a more mental state, in a more scholarly-like manner, okay? And I feel like you should go and study those types of things in a different country. Maybe just understand those societies and how advanced they are as opposed to, you know, here. And then take that knowledge and come back and teach people who you truly desire to help, okay? Thurisaz, thorn, protection, barriers, pride, and self-deception. Spiritual meaning is destruction and rebirth, inner truth, and false ego. So with this protection right here, I feel like you need to block yourself off to some sort of self-deception and pride, all right? You need to destroy something in order to have this rebirth. You don't need to go into like a false egotistical sense right here. You just need to, and you don't need to think that you're better than other people, okay? And maybe that could be that you have to understand why you can't advance. Maybe the reason you're not in the know and the reason that you're in the hanged man energy is that you are just completely blocked off yourself. And that could be the situation as well. So don't be, you know, egotistical and think you're smarter than everyone. Come from a base perspective and think, am I actually that smart? Are things really hidden from me? What's actually going on right here? Speed your journey, ease a transition, aid communication, bring good news, and find your spiritual way. So I feel like that's the important part of this Aquarius, okay? So use this information for good. Don't use it for evil. Move forward and try to help other people in the end. So anyway, Aquarius, I hope you enjoyed this reading, and I'll talk to you later.